What if I told you that the biggest threat to your financial future in 2026 isn't inflation, it isn't the stock market, and it isn't your salary? It is a silent, frictionless leak in your bank account that you don't even realize is happening until you look back and wonder where your wealth went. Right now, millions of Americans are quietly participating in a radical financial experiment. They call it the No-Buy 2026 Challenge, and it is exposing a terrifying truth about how our brains have been hijacked by modern consumerism. According to a brand new 2026 financial wellness survey by Intuit, 93% of Americans say they desperately need to change how they manage their money this year. But here is the statistic that should stop you in your tracks. 54% admit they deeply regret their spending habits over the last 12 months. You are not alone if you feel like you are making more money than ever, yet you have absolutely nothing to show for it. Today, we are going to tear down the psychology of ghost spending and expose the exact mechanisms tech companies use to bypass your logical brain. And we will walk through the radical 30-day money reset that is quietly creating a new class of financially free Americans. My name is Guru, and if you have ever felt the urge to buy something just to feel a temporary spike of dopamine, this video is going to permanently rewire your brain.
Let's start with a brutal reality check. If you are watching this, you probably have a smartphone in your pocket or sitting on your desk. That device is not just a communication tool. It is the most sophisticated behavioral modification machine ever created in human history. Every time you open an app, scroll through a feed, or watch a short-form video, you are being subjected to thousands of micro-targeted psychological triggers. These triggers are designed to do one thing: separate you from your money with zero friction. Think about how you bought things 20 years ago. You had to realize you needed something. Get in your car, drive to a store, find the item, wait in line, and physically hand over cash or a card. That process had natural friction. It gave your prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, time to ask a critical question. Do I actually need this, or am I just bored? Today, that friction is gone. You see a gadget on your feed, you double tap, your face unlocks your phone, and the purchase is complete. You didn't even feel the money leaving your account. Behavioral economists call this frictionless spending, and it is the primary reason why the average American household is currently drowned in what I call ghost expenses. These are the microtransactions, the forgotten subscriptions, the convenience delivery fees, and the impulse digital purchases that never register as real spending in your mind. But they are silently eating your wealth alive.
Let's look at the data, because the numbers do not lie. According to the Federal Reserve, total U.S. credit card debt has shattered records, surpassing $1.1 trillion. But it is not just big purchases like cars or furniture driving this debt. It is the death by 1,000 cuts. A recent analysis of consumer spending habits revealed that the average American wastes over $400 a month on non-essential, impulse-driven purchases. That is nearly $5,000 a year. Let that sink in. $5,000 a year, vanishing into the digital ether, exchanged for moments of fleeting dopamine that you won't even remember a week from now. If you took that $5,000 and invested it in a standard S&P 500 index fund, earning an average historical return of 7%, in 20 years, that ghost money would grow to over $205,000. You are literally burning your retirement fund on takeout fees, upgraded shipping, and gadgets that end up in a junk drawer. This is why the No-Buy 2026 movement is exploding across platforms like TikTok and Reddit. It is not just a budgeting trend. It is a psychological rebellion against a system that is engineered to keep you broke.
So, what exactly is the No-Buy Challenge? The rules are brutally simple, and that is exactly why they work. For a set period, usually 30 days to a full year, you restrict your spending to absolute non-negotiable survival necessities. This means you pay for your rent or mortgage, your basic groceries, your utilities, your insurance, and essential medications. That is it. Everything else is locked down. No dining out, no ordering delivery, no new clothes, no video games, no streaming service upgrades, no coffees from the drive-thru, no Amazon impulse buys at 2 in the morning. The goal is not to punish yourself. The goal is to completely reset your brain's reward system. When you remove the ability to buy your way out of boredom, stress, or sadness, you are forced to confront those emotions directly. You start to realize how much of your spending was just a coping mechanism.
Let's break down the psychological phases you will go through if you attempt this 30-day reset, because nobody warns you about the withdrawal. Days 1 through 7 are what I call the phantom urge phase. Your brain is used to getting a hit of dopamine every time you click add to cart. When you remove that stimulus, your brain will panic. You will find yourself opening shopping apps without even realizing it. You will feel a genuine sense of anxiety when you walk past your favorite coffee shop or see an ad for a new tech gadget. This is the exact same neurological pathway that lights up when someone tries to quit smoking or cut out sugar. Your brain is throwing a tantrum because you cut off its cheap, easy dopamine supply. Most people quit during this first week. They tell themselves, "I work hard, I deserve this treat." But that voice is not you. That is the conditioning talking. That is the marketing algorithm that has spent billions of dollars training you to equate spending with self-care. But if you push through that first week, something magical happens. You enter phase 2, the clarity phase. Around day 10, the mental fog starts to lift. Because you are no longer spending money on convenience, you are forced to engage with your life. You start cooking your own meals, which means you are actually paying attention to what you put in your body. You start going for walks instead of scrolling through online stores. You start having conversations with your family instead of retreating into separate screens with separate streaming subscriptions. And then you check your bank account. For the first time in years, you see your checking account balance growing. Not because you got a raise, but because you stopped the bleeding. The psychological shift here is profound. You transition from feeling like a victim of the economy to feeling like the master of your own domain. You realize that you have been sitting on a gold mine of margin. You just kept handing it over to corporations.
Now, I need to address the biggest criticism of the no-buy movement, because as a finance educator, I have to give you the contrarian truth. Critics will say that extreme frugality is a scarcity mindset. They will tell you that you cannot save your way to wealth and that you should focus on earning more instead. From a purely mathematical standpoint, they are half right. You do need to increase your income to build massive wealth. But here is the trap that the anti-frugality gurus completely ignore. If you cannot control your spending when you make $60,000 a year, you will not be able to control it when you make $120,000 a year. This is the exact mechanism of lifestyle creep, and it is the reason why so many high-income earners are living paycheck to paycheck. The no-buy challenge is not a permanent lifestyle. It is a temporary shock therapy. It is a circuit breaker. You use it to violently interrupt your bad habits, establish a new baseline for your fixed and variable costs, and then you build your wealth strategy on that new hardened foundation.
Let's talk about the math of the reset, because the numbers are staggering when you apply them to a real household. Let's take a hypothetical couple, Sarah and Mark. Combined, they bring in $140,000 a year. They think they are doing well, but they are constantly stressed about money. When they audit their spending for the no-buy challenge, they discover the ghosts. They are spending $300 a month on food delivery apps because they're too exhausted to cook. They have $80 a month in unused digital subscriptions. They spend $150 a month on random Amazon purchases they see on social media.
and they drop another $200 a month on weekend entertainment and drinks. That is $730 a month, nearly $9,000 a year. They were taking that money directly out of their future. By implementing a strict 30-day no-buy reset, they don't just save $9,000. They reclaim their time. They start meal prepping, which improves their health. They cancel the subscriptions, which reduces their digital clutter. And most importantly, they set up an automated transfer. On the first of every month, that $730 is instantly routed into a high-yield savings account and an index fund portfolio. They never see it in their checking account. They learn to leave on the remainder. Within 5 years, that redirected ghost money, compounded at a conservative 7%, grows to nearly $70,000. In 15 years, it is over $300,000. That is the power of the reset. It is not about deprivation. It is about reallocation.
So how do you actually execute this without failing by day 4? You need a system. Willpower is a finite resource, and if you rely on willpower to say no to every targeted ad you see, you will lose. You must engineer your environment to make spending difficult. Step 1 is the great unlinking. Go into your digital wallet, your Amazon account, your food delivery apps, and delete your saved credit card numbers. Every single one of them. If you want to buy something non-essential, you must physically get up, find your wallet, and type in the 16-digit number, the expiration date, and the security code. You would be shocked at how many impulse purchases you abandon just because you introduced 30 seconds of friction back into the process. Step 2 is the visual cash diet. For your variable spending, like groceries and household goods, withdraw physical cash for the week. When you hand over a $50 bill and get back a $20, your brain registers the loss of resources. When you tap a piece of plastic or a watch, your brain registers nothing. Reintroducing physical money for a short period acts as a powerful neurological reset.
Step 3 is the 72-hour quarantine. If you see something you want to buy online, you are not allowed to buy it today. You must put it in a digital cart, close the tab, and wait 72 hours. 90% of the time, the dopamine urge will fade, and you will realize you didn't actually want the item. You just wanted the distraction. As we look deeper into 2026, the economic landscape is only going to get more challenging. Inflation has fundamentally altered the baseline cost of living. Housing affordability is at historic lows. The traditional advice of just work hard and save the rest is broken because there is no rest left to save. The system is designed to absorb every extra dollar you earn through convenience and targeted advertising. The no-buy challenge is your shield. It is the ultimate act of financial defiance. When you refuse to participate in the dopamine economy, you take back your power. You stop being a predictable data point for a marketing algorithm and start becoming the architect of your own freedom. The families who will thrive in this modern economy are not necessarily the ones who earn the most. They are the ones who have mastered their own psychology. They are the ones who understand that true wealth is not the accumulation of stuff, but the accumulation of options, flexibility, and peace of mind.
You now have the blueprint to break the cycle, stop the ghost spending, and reclaim your financial margin. But saving the money is only the first step. If you want to know exactly where to deploy that newly found capital to build an impenetrable financial fortress, you need to watch this video right here. I break down the exact automated wealth building system you need to set up this week. Because if your money doesn't have a job, it will find a way to disappear. Click right here, and I will see you in the next one.